It's a battle in politics, religion, and education, the fight between education advocates and leaders of yeshivas. And right smack in the middle is our state's chief educator, State Education Commissioner Mary Ellen Ilya. The commissioner will be making a major decision on secular education in yeshivas and whether these institutions are abiding by state law.
I think it's clear that we have to review what's happening in our schools, our non-public schools across the state, and that's the move that I'm going to be introducing mid-November.
The investigation into yeshivas and whether they are providing adequate education in secular subjects like English, math, and science has been ongoing since July of 2015, and just last month, a preliminary injunction was filed in federal court by advocacy group Young Advocates for Fair Education, or YAFED. YAFED Executive Director Naftuli Moster
basically asked the court that, look, based on all the evidence, we're going to win this case, so decide now in our favor.
The preliminary injunction filed against the Board of Regents, the State Education Department, and the governor. The purpose? To stop enforcement of an amended education law named after State Senator Simcha Felder. YAFED says that amendment relaxes academic standards for ultra-Orthodox Jewish schools, exempting them from meeting state guidelines requiring, quote, substantially equivalent education as mandated in public schools.
Every child in New York receives an equal education, as opposed to what Simcha Felder recently rammed through the budget, which, as you know, is a special carve-out for ultra-Orthodox Jewish schools. Most people don't agree with that.
At issue, Section 3204 of the New York State Education Law, which states, quote, instruction given to a minor elsewhere than at a public school shall be at least substantially equivalent to the instruction given to minors of public schools of the city or districts where they reside. Controversy surrounding yeshivas and whether or not they are properly educating their students have been ongoing for years. In fact, the State Education Department has conducted their own investigation, which has lasted more than 2 years.
I will only send them to private yeshiva because they are gaining so much over there.
This promotional video, produced by the group Parents for Education and Religious Liberty in Schools, or PEARLS, depicts ideals opposite of YAFED. PEARLS supports education in yeshivas and is dedicated to protecting what they call fundamental bedrocks of religious learning. PEARLS Executive Committee member Avi Greenstein is not only a graduate of yeshiva schools, but he has also taught and sent his own children to yeshivas as well.
It offers a dual education. It offers a full day of rigorous learning, and we are very proud of the education that our yeshivas provide.
The fight between those who support yeshiva education and those crying for reform and regulation now has State Education Commissioner Ilya playing referee. As for those guidances she promises to release in mid-November, we pressed the commissioner on specifics and posed this question.
What message do you have to those yeshivas who may be violating?
I don't know that any yeshivas or any schools across our state are violating. That's part of what we will find out as we go in and do the investigations. Well-rounded education that addresses specific academics.
We showed YAFED Executive Director Naftuli Moster Commissioner Ilya's response during our one-on-one interview.
She knows of at least 30 yeshivas that are not complying with the law. Why would she keep repeating that she doesn't know of any? That's a concern.
Moster posing the question after this letter was released by New York City Schools Chancellor Richard Carranza, detailing the results of a 3-year investigation into education equivalency at yeshiva schools in the city. Out of 30 yeshivas which were part of the investigation, the city's Department of Education visited 15 schools. The DOE was denied access to 15 others, according to the letter. The comprehensive 14-page letter detailed how the yeshiva school leaders, quote, expressed a commitment to expanding students' exposure to secular instruction and improving instruction itself. However, the DOE requests, quote, we request further guidance from the State Education Department to allow us to continue to work collaboratively and productively with these schools to develop plans for further collaboration and improvement where warranted.
This only confirms what we already know, and we are pleased to have the city validate us.
The chancellor's letter knows of at least 30 yeshivas that are violating the law.
The education and the good education that we know our yeshivas provide.
Because even the 15 that are now improving, they're improving, but they're far from meeting the State Education Department guidelines or the law.
Two factions at a crossroads. The question now, how will the State Education Commission and the courts decide this ongoing battle? The answer will come within the next coming weeks. Ray Raymundi, FiOS 1 News.